Go ahead.
You are listening to a Cult Talk Network podcast.
Welcome, everyone, to the Cult of Campbell.
Yay!
Our very first episode. I'm Ty.
I'm Eric.
I am Ian.
I'm Ben.
I'm Ursa.
We're
And
glad
today,
to be here.
we're taking a look at what else but 1981's The Evil Dead,
Boom.
Yes.
A classic.
Starring
Classic.
Bruce Campbell.
starring Bruce Campbell, written and directed by Sam Raimi on a budget of $350,000,
Jeez.
with a box office of domestic $2.7 million, international $29.4 million.
Boy, that had to
Nice.
feel good.
Right.
Had
Yeah.
to have. Like,
That was
I can't even imagine that. Like, I don't know. That's crazy to think about.
I know. Just validating isn't quite the word for it at that point.
Right.
Of course, a cult horror film, and I imagine most people's first introduction to Bruce Campbell as an
Mhm.
actor, I'd imagine.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah. He was pretty young when he first, when he did this, wasn't
He's
he?
Yes,
20 or
very
21, I
very
think. Yeah.
So we're going to be breaking down this very early role of our very big hero, Bruce. It's time to get groovy.
Grab your boomstick and fire up the Delta. It's time for ACTION. Join the Cult of Campbell. Groovy.
And if you're lucky a little later, I'll let you play with my
So, first of all, who here, other than me, is this the first time seeing this movie? No one
it's
else?
definitely
All
just
right,
me.
all right.
I
Ben,
think it's just you.
just me. Ben, what was your first memory?
So, I guess probably I was maybe 23 or 24 when I first watched this film. I had a friend who was big into Bruce Campbell and stuff, and so he made me watch it, and it was okay. I didn't know a whole lot about film as much as I do now anyway, so I couldn't appreciate it for what it was.
Yeah.
I didn't see what the big deal was. But there were certain parts in it that I recognized that were incredibly creepy.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
And so that it definitely does well. Even the first time that I saw it, I was like, okay, I could definitely see where back in the day this would be considered very creepy and very uncomfortable watching.
Oh, yeah.
So it was a pleasant experience. Just I couldn't fully appreciate it at the time.
Tyler?
I saw this when I was very young when I first saw it the first time. It was on VHS. It was at one of my cousin's house, I believe. And my first memory is like watching it and throwing up at a certain point because I was just grossed out. Like I was way too young to be watching Evil Dead. But he's like eating something, like it was like cookies or pizza or something. He's eating something, and at one of the gore scenes, it just turned my stomach.
Ugh.
I threw up, and I was way too young to appreciate the film for what it was. So like I spent a lot of my adolescence like thinking it was the worst movie I've ever seen. And then when I got in high school, I rented it or saw it on TV or one, and I like just came to love it. It became one of my favorite films. I was able to appreciate, all the cinematography and some of the directorial direction. I guess it just made a lot of sense to me. Then I really appreciated it from that point on, and also Bruce Campbell.
Of course.
Naturally.
Ursa, what was your first memory? First time watching this?
Probably as a teenager. Creeped me out, but I think like you guys, I didn't really appreciate it back then. I think I watched it again in my 20s, or maybe 19 or 20, somewhere around there. I worked as a security guard with a guy who was just really, really into Halloween, Evil Dead, all that kind of stuff. He's like, "Oh no, you got to go back and watch it again, man." I'm like, "Okay, I'll give it another shot." Yeah, really good movie.
I'll give it another shot. Ian.
So I don't really remember my first time seeing it. It was a long time ago. Like, I think I was like a young teenager, and I heard like it was like a definitive horror movie, and I watched it, And I think I'm kind of in the same boat. I wasn't really able to appreciate it. I was like, okay, some of this is pretty creepy and this is super nasty. But like, I even said during our watch along, like, I got a lot of parts confused between this and Evil Dead 2. I was like, oh, wait, that scene's not going to be in this movie. It's in the next one. Like, or like, I remembered it differently, like the part where he cuts off his girlfriend's head because they redid that scene with a different actress in Evil Dead 2. So I was like, oh, yeah, okay, I fucking forgot about that. So I don't really remember my first time watching it. This was the first time I've watched it in like a while. I was definitely able to appreciate it more. Like, it's one of those movies that if you're a horror fan, you're at least tangentially familiar with it. So it was kind of cool to like sit down and rewatch the movie and actually like see everything that they've been talking about how good the makeup was and stuff. Like, it was really good.
Right.
Oh yeah, and of course, as I admitted earlier, this was my first time seeing the movie straight through. So I have the just, I guess, perspective of having seen a whole bunch of horror movies prior to this, and kind of seeing some roots there,
Right.
in common tropes and things like that. You know, this was early enough that they're doing things that we look at now. You know, I think Ben pointed that out to me because I was like, oh, you know, of course, such and such happened. And, you know, he's like, you know, this probably was one of the first times that
right.
it was actually a major
these things were seen as like common tropes.
Yeah.
This is the
that's where the cabin in the woods like subgenre came from. It started with Evil Dead.
Yeah, because after this movie like took off, you know, obviously on a $350,000 budget, they make multi-million box office. And there was a slew of imitators and copycat films that came out just trying to capitalize on that, you know, small budget, big turnaround.
Oh yeah.
And I think that's where a lot of these tropes became instilled into the horror genre. You know, the car
so I thought that was a great point. Yeah,
the jump scare. This right there, like the jump scares in this. Like, I don't think I remember seeing many jump scares up to that point. There's some pretty good ones in here.
But no, definitely an interesting. Now I'm very late in the game watching it for the first time, but no, that was very interesting to watch. And Ian is going to kind of guide us as we dig a little bit deeper into the Evil Dead.
Yeah. So the funny thing about Evil Dead is, like, again, if you're a casual horror movie fan, a lot of the plot points and stuff are going to seem like cliches.
Right.
But it's not because they are cliches, it's because the cliches develop from this movie.
Right.
Like, the movie pretty much begins just introducing the characters, and they're not stupid teenagers, but they're just kids. Like, they're just going on a road trip to chill in a cabin.
Somewhere in rural Tennessee. They're just going to go spend their weekend in this very boring cabin.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
Like this decrepit, it's a piece of shit.
I don't even think they had
the
like
cell phone reception.
Right.
In 1981, it was probably pretty bad.
See, it's too bad they didn't have a phone, or it wouldn't work.
But let's see. So, of course, we've got, you know, our hero, the wonderful man, the chin himself, Bruce Campbell, in the backseat. And he's there with his girlfriend.
Sister.
His girlfriend, Linda, I think. And then his sister is Cheryl. And then there's Scotty. And then his girlfriend. And I don't remember her name because she doesn't matter. Shelly? Okay. Shelley. All right. I'll pretend that Shelly matters.
Yeah.
So they're driving.
That's all you can do is pretend she matters.
So they're driving the Oldsmobile Classic through the woods. And like, that, one of the things I did not appreciate about this movie early on is that it's shot very well. Like, if this movie had nothing else going for it, I would be able to appreciate the cinematography is really good. There are not a lot of movies that are shot like this. Sam Raimi definitely like developed a style early.
Another thing it does well is that it sets up that Ash is not the hero.
Yeah. It makes it seem like
for the longest part in this movie, he's kind of the background.
Yeah, he's literally in the back seat. It definitely makes you think that handsome, competent, cool-headed Scotty is going to be the hero. Discount Patrick Swayze.
I swear, when I was a kid, the longest time, I thought this was Patrick Swayze's first film.
I mean, as you do.
Yeah, of course. Like, you know, he did this, and then he did Roadhouse. Like,
and Bruce Campbell is sporting a dubious partial unibrow.
Yeah, it's a rough
Oh,
one.
yeah.
It is a
It's
rough one.
Yeah, it was an
Yeah.
interesting look.
And there's a lot of close-ups on it too. Throughout this
Yeah.
film, like, they really let you know. Like
They-
no one thought to say, "Hey, let's take a razor and just kind of trim it up." A little bit.
It's
I
not
mean-
in the budget.
Yeah, not in the budget.
In the
It
budget.
was the 80s.
Part of
You
me
were allowed to be
wonders if
hairy.
that was on purpose.
Oh, to kind of help keep him kind of unassuming
Oh,
outside
yeah.
of that hero role.
ugly him up a little.
Ugly him up. It's a
All right,
possible
that
reason.
chin is way too
Yeah,
fucking handsome.
Yeah, you
We
can't
need to make sure people go for Scotty.
Yeah, I can't say that the unibrow really diminished his looks too much, guys.
No, I was
No.
still charmed.
Still
Handsome
quite
chin.
enamored.
Crack right down the middle.
Still enchanted.
Yeah, I was still enchanted by his on-screen presence.
So yeah, they're driving in the classic, and I like the shot where the camera's kind of behind and above the car,
Yes.
and the branches are like brushing against it. That was a cool,
yeah.
because this movie has a lot of like camera POV shots, and that's almost like that shot almost to me is like it could be a POV, just kind of following the car through the
I
woods.
love that like slow like approach it makes to the cabin. Like,
Yeah,
the car
Oh, yeah.
comes in the frame and it just has that slow approach.
Yep.
to this really shitty cabin.
yep. They pull up to this cabin, and like if I had to pick just like one adjective to describe this cabin, it would be spidery.
Yes.
Like we don't see any in the
yeah.
movie.
I'm sure there's
There's spiders all up in that bitch.
Well,
But-
it was filmed in an actual abandoned cabin.
No
Yeah.
kidding.
Oh,
Yeah.
it sure fucking looked like it.
Yeah,
I just imagine like all of it because like Scotty's it's his idea to go to this cabin, and I just gotta imagine like they're all immediately just like what the fuck like
Yeah, this
like-
is not.
yeah,
Oh,
there's
no.
a cut piece of dialogue where
Yeah.
like, what the fuck, Scotty?
This is
Nothing
our
you
fuck
fucking
pad
said.
for the weekend.
You said I'd be able to get laid.
First, your sister comes, and now we have to fuck in a room next to her in this tiny ass cabin, which is actually really fucking big on the inside.
Yeah,
I'm just
when
saying
they go
this,
there,
this cabin is like
definitely
the
two different
hardest.
locations.
that cabin has
Definitely
that
different
cabin has an
locations.
ass on it.
Yeah.
You go in there and it's like all of a sudden like
Yeah, no, that cabin is what's the word, dummy thick. But like from the front, you can't see any of it. It looks like a tiny little box.
I know. I almost wonder if they were like going for that kind of Lovecraftian or that
Kind of an
aesthetic of playing
uncanny-
with that
That
space.
kind of
Yeah,
the
yeah.
distortion.
I
Yeah,
feel like
they
the
did that
cabin
in
is
The Shining.
long. Like
Yeah.
it's probably like a long
Yeah.
goes long.
We
Yeah,
towards
for
the end of
I
the
feel
movie,
like
we
they
do
had
see-
a creepy outside of a cabin, and then
Yes.
they had another cabin that was bigger on the inside that they could shoot in. That's probably what
yeah.
happened.
The logistics of shooting.
It does. It is actually pretty long though, because towards the end of the movie, there's the shot where it's going through the woods and it busts through the back door, goes down the length of the cabin, and then out the front and
I
hits
forgot
it.
about that. There was
Oh,
actually
yeah.
a couple different buildings there too.
Yeah.
there's like a-
Outbuilding and
It looked like
stuff.
Yeah,
it was
there was
a
like
barn
a
and
shed.
Yeah.
Yeah, a barn or something. Yeah, there was another building that we never like saw really. Yeah, that was
Right.
actually like they did a good job of shooting it to look like it was just a little like nothing, but like there was a lot of space there. Good. I don't know who scouted that location, but good job.
One of my favorite parts. So they pull up the cabin, and it always stuck with me. I'm so glad because in Ash vs. Evil Dead they do the same thing, and like when they return to the cabin in that series. But when they come up to the cabin, there's that porch swing. It's just like banging on the cabin. Like
Oh,
there's
yeah.
no rhyme or reason.
Oh
And
yeah.
Scotty comes up on the porch. Like as soon as he steps on the porch, he just stops.
Oh yeah,
I love that.
that is a good
Yeah.
creepy.
There's all
detail.
kinds of stuff like that. That's
It
really
was
Yeah.
a really
creepy
cool
things.
porch swing too.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love porch
Very,
swings.
very
Yeah.
rustic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fit the aesthetic.
But yeah, so the kids get to the cabin, and there's a lot of portions of this movie that don't translate well to a description because it's just like lingering shots and stuff. But
Right.
pretty much like the way it's framed up is like everybody's just kind of like, this cabin's creepy as shit, but Scotty's the one, the hero, the handsome Scotty.
It's so good how they do that. in
Yeah.
this film.
He's the one that like
If-
goes in first.
If,
And,
if you didn't know who Bruce Campbell was, or like imagine like the audience in 1981 when they're watching this movie,
right.
you know Scotty is the hero.
Yeah.
These other four are just sacks of meat.
Oh,
Yep, they're dead
absolutely.
meat.
And up until a certain point, I mean, it's
The guy with
very
the
much
chin
like
is
that.
dying first.
Yeah, like you think, like, and
Right.
even there's like certain points in the film where it almost solidifies like Scotty is the man. Like,
Yeah.
he's the first one to like take on a deadite.
Yep.
It's just so good to
Oh,
like, do that
yeah.
in this movie. Like in 1981, it had to have been fun to watch this and like
Yeah.
see
Yeah.
who survived.
Yeah, because it did really good at subverting our expectations. That was one part I definitely didn't remember is that they did not make Ash the hero. Like
No.
he became the hero, but he wasn't like the hero. He
Like you
wasn't
guys
written
pointed
to be
out,
the
he's like sitting in the
protagonist.
backseat of the car.
Yeah,
He's in the back there. He's like just going over a map, or whatever.
Yep. there's a scene really early in the movie around this part where they first showed up, where he's like approaching a door, slowly reaching for it, and the music is building, and I think me or somebody made a comment where it was like, yeah, that's where he would die if he was any other character, or like he would still be the first one to go, even if that wasn't the scene.
When he go down to the basement the first time.
Yes, that.
Yeah.
I love the way that's shot though, because he's walking through, and I mean, yeah, it's like 80s style low budget lighting, but they use like foreground objects in the background and the lighting, and it's just beautiful.
Yeah. Oh yeah, this movie is shot great.
So the movie was filmed completely on location. So that cabin just has a big ass to it.
Wow, that was all
Badonka-donk cabin. Thick cabin.
Wow.
Pixar cabin.
Well, I mean, my words
Pixar
on that one. Jeez.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
But so like they get like immediately when they get to the cabin, like Cheryl,
Yeah,
pretty much
she starts
getting
getting
like,
out.
yeah, she starts getting like kind of taken by the evil. There.
Oh,
It's
that's
like,
right.
yeah,
She
they
starts
have her in
doing
a
that
room.
automatic
She
writing.
kind of like
Yeah.
scratch draws the Necronomicon.
You
like-
hear that voice. It's like joy.
Yeah. The whispery voices and like the sound design for this movie is really good too.
Yeah, there was a lot of small detail.
Yeah.
In those voices.
Oh, like
Yeah.
you kept pointing out the moon in the different
Yes.
scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the voices are Sam Raimi. He does all the demon voices.
Oh, cool. I didn't know that. Nice. So yeah, Cheryl. What is it?
Who was the voice of the professor?
The professor.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah. I wonder.
Ooh,
Someone named Bob Dorian.
Bob Dorian.
But
Who,
yeah.
who, when you click on his name on Wikipedia, it just takes you to the AMC TV channel page.
Oh.
I don't know.
AMC did the
Ouch.
voice
Yes.
of the professor. They own that man.
Yes, yes. And that's to AMC.
But yeah, so yeah, Cheryl's already getting some like weird vibes. And then I think the next big event is that they go down into the basement, right? Is that the next?
Yeah.
Well, he spends some time with the
the trap
characters a
door
little
like
bit.
flies open.
Yeah.
Just, like, bursts out, Which at that point you gotta be like, okay.
Yeah.
It'd be a hell of a draft.
Like, shoots
Yeah.
open. That's just,
Yeah,
like,
at that would be about the point. I'd be like, well, this has been fucking fun.
Yeah. Well, we all discussed that. All of us would bail really early, except for Ursa. He's like, dude, this rental was expensive. I'm fucking getting my money's worth. Yeah.
You don't just throw away a perfectly good cabin.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit? Maybe it's on a spring. I don't know. Fuck.
Yeah, I mean, that's just some geological stuff. There's
Yeah, he already
There's a
said it's
spring
just a
down there.
draft.
They're fracking. I don't know.
Just a really strong draft.
Yeah.
Calm the fuck down.
Yeah. The doors, the trap door, the little door on the floor, just explodes open. No rhyme or reason. No one really has too much to say about it,
No.
except nobody wants to go downstairs. And this, in my opinion, is the very first time we get an idea that maybe this is the first time it ever focuses on Ash being somewhat competent or
Right.
More than just a background.
more than
Right,
a background character, because he steps up and reluctantly decides to go downstairs. But we all talked about it. Like, had you not seen this, you'd be pretty certain this is the point where
Oh,
secondary male character gets off.
He's the one that he's being inquisitive, which
He's being
is
inquisitive.
often punished in horror movies when you're the first one to be inquisitive.
Yeah, he's definitely lined up to get killed.
Yeah.
So he makes his way in a creepy basement where there's all kinds of creepiness, and it's shot very well for like a dark.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's got his little lantern, and it's kind of like a side, like this, like kind of like a wide shot, maybe. Is
Right.
what it is, like a little
Yeah.
side.
Kinda tracking him from the side.
Yeah, they're
It's-
tracking from the
it's pretty
side.
wide, and they use like objects in the foreground and the lighting. It's a really good shot.
Yeah.
They do that a lot in the movie. They use a lot of foreground
Yeah.
objects in the movie.
So he's
It gives
creeping
it
along
that
in
depth.
there, and then the the only part I didn't like is this jump scare. It doesn't make any sense. Scotty just pops up in front of him.
Somehow he
He
got
is-
down the trapdoor
yeah.
and
Yeah.
around in front of him.
Oh yeah.
I think he says something like, "Yeah," like he's like, "Hey, come check out what I found." Like he's like been down there for a second. It seemed like so he takes him to the creepy corner where we have a Hills Have Eyes reference. We have
Oh.
Hills Have Eyes poster in the background.
yeah, and then we have is that where they find the shotgun?
Yeah,
I
it's
think
where
that
they
they
find
find
the
the
shotgun
shot-
with the extra
they-
shells and the
Yeah.
recording.
Yeah, recording. They find all the MacGuffins.
All the MacGuffins down there. They kind of preset the foreshadowing there. What is yet to come. Ben pointed out that was a single barrel shotgun.
Yeah, single shot.
Different from the iconic double shotgun that we see in.
Yeah, this is the only time in the history that I think we see him wield the single shot versus the double.
Yeah.
And he doesn't get his famous 3-shot rule as he does with the double barrel.
Oh yeah,
And I noticed something as well. So the DVD we have is like Anchor Bay Ultimate Edition, and inside it has all the posters. And the posters for all the movie, he's always holding like a pump action shotgun. It's like a,
is that right?
Yeah, right there.
Oh yeah, it is.
So
we're looking at it now.
Right, yeah.
And the axe is different.
Yeah, flip it over.
Yep, right there.
That one, yeah.
Oh, that is a different axe too. That's a double-headed axe, isn't it?
But he finds his shotgun. He finds all the MacGuffins. We have the recording. We have a very shitty Necronomicon. I thought that prop was pretty shitty looking.
Did you?
Yeah, especially when you get later into the series, you see like the really nice Necronomicon. This one's kind of like pretty shitty looking prop.
Yeah, I didn't mind it so much in the basement, but once, especially at the end of the film where they, spoiler alert, burn the book, that looks so bad.
Yeah.
It looked like a couple of pages folded in half.
Yeah, it did, right? It was like a 6-page book.
I didn't even know what it was supposed to be at first. I didn't.
So they decide, we found all this creepy shit. Let's bring it upstairs.
Right. Did they go pretty much right into listening to the recording from there, didn't they?
Basically, yeah.
No.
They all decide, let's huddle around the fire.
It's like Tyler pointed out. I mean, what else are you going to do?
Yeah, there's like this is like a very poorly planned. It's like it don't even seem like they're trying to like hike or anything like that. None of them are like in hiking clothes.
I don't think we ever saw them with booze or anything, did we?
No, they don't.
No deck of cards.
Yeah, wow.
What is their
They did have
plan?
a deck of cards.
Did they?
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause they were doing the psychic thingy.
Oh,
that's right.
yeah, we do see that
That's
later.
right.
Yeah,
But that's all they brought to entertain themselves with.
yeah, they brought a
Yeah.
deck of cards. Like Scotty playing this whole vacation, he just totally fucked it. Like
Yeah,
that's what it was.
basically, if I was in their shoes in that exact situation and everything had happened like it had up to that point, I'd be like, yeah, fuck it. Let's listen to the fucking recording. I
Yeah.
don't give a shit.
Yeah,
And then I
Scotty
would never
brought
go on vacation with Scotty again.
No,
Yeah.
that's right, they did-
That's
Spoiler alert. You're not gonna have to worry about
For
that.
sure, going to the beach next year. We're not letting Scotty pick the best.
like you never see them carrying in food or beer. Like they're just
They're just like,
they're just
we're
hanging out in
gonna
this cabin in
sit
the middle
on
of
the
the woods.
floor in a cabin.
He's like, I brought a deck of cards, guys. Like, we're gonna play rummy for 3 days.
Yeah. Boy, they are kind of. Somebody said they were lucky that they found that recording to have something to do.
Yeah, they were all pretty excited. Like
I gave
finally,
them something to do.
they're probably hoping like,
It sure
man, some
did.
music. We got some music to listen to. No, it's just some old dude reading like old incantations.
Yep. So it's this professor, and he starts talking about.
He discovered the
Necronomicon.
Necronomicon. He came up to this cabin to translate it, and he does so by recording it. And he just no warning, nothing. He doesn't say, "Hey, I'm about to read some demonic shit. Turn it off now if you don't want literally the most evil spirits around to come to
Yeah,
life."
that's kind of what I guess. Well, the first time I watched it, I didn't really kind of dawn on me. This time, like I just kind of settled. I'm like, that son of a bitch just goes like right into it.
Well, he probably didn't know. Because if he
Oh, the
If
fuck
he
he
spoke
didn't, because he's in like sorcerer mode. He's like, "Kratu, brata." Like the fuck he don't know what's
well, he
happening.
probably didn't know the recording would also do it.
Yeah,
Because
maybe.
I imagine he was probably like, boom, done. And then all the shit started. And he was like, that was a bad idea.
Yeah. Then was that the first time he read it through? If it wasn't, dick move. And
Yeah,
if it
that's
was,
true.
if that was the first time
Yeah,
he read
it
it out
does
loud.
depend on if it was the first time. If it was the very first time, we can give him a pass. It's like, there's no precedent for that. But yeah, no, if he already knew, he's an asshole.
I'll be interested to know if we learn more about this professor in other installations. I don't know personally.
You're gonna be disappointed.
Oh,
I wouldn't get a high hope.
Oh,
Actually, no. I think in Evil Dead 2, I think they do
Did they give us a little?
elaborate a little bit more.
Ooh,
It's
I
like,
can't wait.
Well,
Evil-
because the chick
I
that shows
think-
up is his daughter.
Oh,
I haven't seen Evil Dead 2 for a long time either.
but the
Yeah, the
professor's daughter shows up. Interesting.
When are we watching Evil Dead 2?
When are we watching Evil Dead 2? Is that on our roster soon?
it's somewhere. I mean,
Soon.
of course.
Depends on how many likes.
I mean, we
get.
are the Cult of Campbell. So
We are the Cult of Campbell. You know it's coming.
yes. So
Uh,
after he does the recording,
And a
the
branch
branch,
smashes
yeah,
through
like
the
there's
window.
another thing too. There's all this thunder, all these thunder sounds.
Right.
It constantly shows us the moon is out.
You're right. Yeah.
It never
'cause-
rains.
No, there's not a hint of a storm.
Yeah, but there's always thunder in the background. But the recording plays. Cheryl is like, turn it off. And then all of a sudden, a branch just shoots through the window.
Mm.
Startles nobody.
Oddly
Everyone's just like,
coincidence
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Crazy
They're like,
storm.
yeah, like Scotty's like, she just freaking out, man. Like
they do keep their chill
they do.
very well, I will say, for these teenage
Oh,
campers.
fuck that! They're a bunch of morons. Like, this is strike number 2. Get the fuck out of here.
When are they going to catch on?
Yeah, at a certain point, I'm thinking like after Ash is like watch his friend chop with his girlfriend, he's murdered his friend. Like I imagine at that point he probably started to think like there might be something wrong here.
There might be something wrong.
I think there's something evil happening here.
Something fishy's going
Yeah.
on.
Wait
You might
a
say that there's some
second.
evil and dead.
Yeah. He starts saying, I think something happened when that guy read that book. I think-
Yeah, there might have been more than just wind blowing
Yeah,
branches
yeah.
through windows.
And you know what the fucked up thing about that is that since he's the only survivor, he gets to talk to the press and like look like the great detective. He's just the last motherfucker to live.
I knew right away something was up.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I do. I would sell it. I would be the hero.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
there you go. No, hey, in his shoes.
So
Oh.
after that, we get the like. I think this is the first. No, while they're reading the thing, we have you see like the evil rising out of the ground. Remember that? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
you see the
get
ground
this.
moving. There's some light. Yeah, I guess hell spewing out, which is like the only time you get to see it. It's a really decent little effect, I thought.
Yeah.
But then we get our first like evil POV aside from like that
Right.
first thing at
the
the beginning.
opening shots.
But
Yeah, it's where it comes rushing through the forest.
Yeah.
towards the cabin.
And then it starts peering in through windows. I think.
yes, and Cheryl decides she's going to go out and find out who's stalking around outside.
Oh, yeah, she
In her fucking
Yeah.
bathrobe.
in her bathroom.
Yeah. Hey, who's out here in the middle of nowhere looking
I
at our
heard you in the
windows?
cellar.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
heard
Whoa,
you
yeah.
in
I
the
didn't get
cellar.
that. Where'd that come
I have
from?
no idea.
No. She
Did-
just
Maybe something was cut.
I'm wondering if
Maybe.
I missed something or what. Yeah, she starts
I
talking about
don't
the
know.
cellar, but no, it's outside your window.
she's just
Yeah,
wandering.
and like if you heard them in the cellar, why would you be outside looking for them?
right.
Right.
She
Well,
wanders
apparently
so
Scotty
far
got
from
down
that
there
cabin.
somehow, so I'm assuming there's a second entrance.
Yeah,
somewhere,
secret
but-
cellar entrance.
Scotty, slipped his way down there somehow.
Yeah, you can't say Scotty doesn't know.
That's it. Get out. Get out.
All right.
Fuck
Yep,
out. Of
yep.
Good
It's great
one.
working
Good
with you
day,
guys.
sir.
Good one, Dad.
But man, she wanders so far outside
Oh.
of that cabin.
It's like pitch black. There's like impenetrable fog. She just walking around like, hey,
no,
come out here.
you're certain someoone's out there, but they're not answering you. I'm sure it's going to
Yeah.
be fine.
Like Ben said, if they're peering through your windows and like they're not going to answer like the first time you call, like, hey, who's out there? They're like, it's me.
I
It's
mean,
me. Sorry. I was-
You caught me.
yeah.
Yo, just peeping, you know.
thought I'd do some peeping. I'm sorry. You have a great rest of your night. I'll be moving
And
on
It's
now.
a very slow Saturday.
And this leads to the scene.
Oh, the tree scene.
I was very interested to see what you thought about this, Eric, because you have
Oh.
not seen Evil Dead. Were you
Jeez.
expecting a woman to be sexually assaulted by trees?
So I knew about that scene before watching this movie. I'd heard
Mhm.
about it. It's quite infamous.
Right.
I mean, I figured it'd be pretty bad. That was crazy gratuitous. I mean, this whole movie
yeah.
is gratuitous. They spared you nothing in that scene.
Oh, she gets her breasts exposed. She's
Yeah.
being held and bound.
Oh.
You see a branch just go right up
Just
in her.
long lingering shots. Yeah, that shot of that branch just
Like,
jeez.
and then when she gets penetrated, I hate it because it was like she's like still like struggling, but like you almost hear like these like moans of pleasure.
Oh, yeah,
it was
no.
kind of like I was
I
like,
think it was
wow,
Really creepy scene.
yeah, it was a
Yeah.
very creepy scene.
Yeah.
I
Not like creepy in a good way either. Like
Not
at
creepy,
all.
like old
But-
man hanging out at nightclubs creepy.
oh
yeah.
yeah. Just not a good
but the
creepy.
effects work though. was
Oh,
great. Like
no.
the branches wrapping her up and stuff. That was great. You can
Oh,
tell
yeah.
it's probably like reverse shot. Like,
Right.
It was very seamless.
But that certainly was impressive. You could tell they put a lot of work into that scene.
So
And
she
they-
breaks free and runs back to the cabin, and like
Yeah.
clearly she's like all fucked up. She's like
she's got
cut up and scarred and
bruises
stuff. And she comes.
wounds.
We get the first one of the
Panicking.
jump scares again, where like she's trying to get in the door,
Oh,
and the
keys fall on the
POV
ground.
is getting closer, and then Ash just pops up and hey, what's going
his
on?
hand grabs hers suddenly.
She rushes in, closes the door, and then like apparently for whatever reason the evil spirit's like, I'm not fucking with doors this time. So it just backs
my only
off.
weakness.
Yeah, it's like, God damn, they closed the door, and she's like telling them like the trees, the trees are alive, and
nobody,
they're
of
all
course.
passing down on her.
Oh yeah,
Clearly,
she's
just for attention.
I mean,
The trees again,
honestly,
Cheryl.
if somebody came into me, even if they were all beat up and are like, the trees are alive, I'd be like, are you sure you didn't just like fall or something?
Yeah. Yeah. So you fell on a branch. No.
But
I
they
was
asked-
sexually assaulted by tree. Yeah, you
but
fell
they
on a
asked
branch.
zero questions. Like,
Oh,
why
yeah.
are you
No.
outside in your underwear?
They were even-
What the fuck is going on here? Like, nothing.
No.
Yeah, they were really, really dismissive. weren't
They
they?
were
Yeah.
extremely
It's
dismissive
just,
for
you
the
know,
state she was
Crazy
in.
Crazy Cheryl.
Cheryl and those trees.
Kind of almost condescending, even.
Yeah.
Really, towards her. That was whew.
And
Boy.
then but Ash, being his sister, he
Right.
says, all right, I'm gonna take her to town.
Yep, he's gonna get her out of there.
We get
Take
one
her
of those horror movie tropes where he's in the car and it won't start, but it doesn't really lead to anything though, which I thought was weird. Him trying to start the car because
'cause
eventually it does
It
just start.
eventually does.
It's
Yeah,
just like
she
it's
said
just like very
something right
drawn
before
out.
it starts, didn't she?
I
Um,
can't remember.
Yeah,
I'm
she
not
said
sure.
something.
yeah, something about the car.
I don't
He
remember.
said it won't let us.
Oh,
It won't let us leave.
Yeah. And then
Ah,
finally it starts up, and they make their way
Right.
to the bridge, and we find that the bridge has been destroyed.
just
And
absolutely
what a
torn
great
to
way
bits.
they did it too, because like they hid their budget, like they didn't have to like show this big set
wreckage
piece stuff.
scene.
No.
Yeah, of the bridge falling
Yeah.
down or
It's
whatever.
at night. You can't see anything around except for what they want you to
Just a
see.
mangled metal.
You see mangled metal. You see a sign that says 3 tons or whatever.
Oh, yep.
Three
Yeah.
ton weight limit.
So you know
So
this
you know
thing
that
is-
something really fucked it up.
Right.
And they just go back to the cabin.
Yep. They turn around and they're just like, did they even say there's no way out? Did
I
they just-
assume so.
yeah,
I think they
just
went
let
back
them
and
know.
like, yes, we can't get out of here, and they're trying to find a way to get around it.
and they kind of just chill for a minute too.
They
don't
start playing that ESP game
Right, trying to guess the cards.
where was it Linda and what was their name? I cannot
was
remember.
it Shelly? Was there a Shelly in there?
I know
Shelley?
there's. I know one of them's Linda because
Linda.
Yeah, somebody shouts Linda. Linda and Shelly. And they're
And Ash doesn't tell a goddamn person about this bridge.
he didn't mention the bridge, did he? Nope, not at all.
I mean, I don't. Did he like tell him the bridge was torn
No,
out?
he didn't say shit.
No, I mean,
Just-
because later on they ask if they could leave, right?
Oh yeah, and he's like, the bridge is gone.
That's when he chooses to tell
yeah,
them.
yeah. He's just
Yeah.
they're sitting there playing cards, and he's just like, yeah.
So
Oh yeah, there we go. Hang on, I'll lap it so we can get set. All right.
But so yeah, he just sits there and doesn't say shit.
Just lets them keep on thinking that they've
And then
got.
they're, for some reason they're letting this really snobby bit, like, because when what's her name comes in from getting beat up by the tree, it's really the Ash's girlfriend,
Linda.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Linda. That's the snotty bitch.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And for some reason they're placating her, like, oh, you're so good at this card reading game. It's like she's getting all of them wrong.
yeah,
I
well,
think
yeah,
they were just fucking with her.
yeah.
But that sounds like something I would do.
you would. You
Like she was getting all excited. She's like, and like,
I'm
she's
Yeah,
like,
but I'd be like, why feed that fucking bear?
It's like she's got ESPN or something.
ESPN.
Oh my Christ!
Oh,
Just
I
fucking
know.
smack her in the face.
So
Right about then is when.
Yeah.
so
And that's when everything goes completely tits up.
Oh,
because
yeah.
then Cheryl starts naming off the cards like crazy, like
Getting
she's like,
them
name
right.
every one of them right, every one of
And
them
her
right,
voice is slowly
changing, and then we get the very first look at a deadite in the film industry. She whips her head around, and she's all demonic, possessed. There's levitating.
Oh yeah.
Everyone's mildly startled.
Yeah,
they are.
yeah.
They are
Most
a little
people
alarmed.
finally start to be like,
They finally start to crack. They're like, wait a second.
Something might be.
Yeah.
there might
Maybe
Cheryl's
the
not-
trees were alive.
Yeah.
there's something.
Yeah, there's something different about Cheryl.
There's something different about Cheryl.
Ever since she had that encounter with those trees,
I'm sure it's
little
just a
different.
rash.
Yeah, it's a rash.
So just like, man, that was kind of they draw out their horror scenes super well too.
They
Just building
do.
up the tension and escalating, and you kind of think surely this is kind of the line where they've crossed, and then it just kind of keeps going. This deadite attack and mockery, and
You know, one of the things we did, speaking of lingering,
yeah,
is we forgot the very important plot point comes up later with Ash giving the necklace to Cheryl. Because there's this very
right.
long little scene where it's like flashing back, like he's got the box that has the necklace in it, and like he's holding his hand. I didn't really understand what was supposed to happen there. Like she's like he's holding it. I guess he's not supposed to be paying attention, and she's trying to like
I think she
sneak it.
Yeah, I think she
yeah.
thinks he's fallen asleep.
Yeah, and he's like cutting back between their eyes, and it
And
goes
it's-
on for a minute.
Yeah, and it could have been a time to show off Bruce Campbell's acting, but
Well, that's what we'll find out later. There's not a
we get-
whole lot to
well,
showcase in this one.
no, there isn't. But there could have been if
Yeah.
it just wasn't for the fact that it was focused on his fucking unibrow the whole time.
Oh yeah, very
because that
very
was when we're like,
prominent
Jesus, it's
unibrow.
like dead center.
Very
Oh, yeah.
prominent unibrow showcase here. So we have that plot point where she opens it. It turns out I thought it was gonna be a ring, but it's not a ring. It's some kind of
It's a
like
magnifying glass on the neck.
necklace. Yeah,
Wow.
which I thought would have came into play a lot different than it did in the end.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
like at the end when the book and you're seeing like all that. I was thinking like, obviously we'll use this.
Shame it wasn't a
glass.
grappling hook necklace, right?
Right.
Oh, boy.
Right. I thought they was going to do the old magnifying, like when you burn the ants thing. Is what I
Right,
thought was
yeah.
gonna
Oh, they
happen.
could have burned the book with it.
That's
that
what I
way.
thought was going to happen. I thought like the sun was going to come up and like shoot to
Oh,
there
yeah.
and burn the
Why
book.
use
but
a
no.
magnifying glass to burn books when you can grapple with it?
Yeah, you can use a grappling hook. So anyways, Cheryl fucks everybody up.
Oh yeah.
She throws Bruce into she
Yep,
takes a
throws him in-
pencil and stabs it into Linda's leg.
That's right.
That was
Yep.
pretty. That was
Right
pretty
into the
gory.
ankle,
That was a
digs
gory.
it in.
Yeah, it was right in the ball.
I was.
That was a
like,
good effect
yeah.
too. That,
It
man,
was.
You felt that one.
It's
That
that
was a
like
good-
cheap '80s practical effect. I
Right.
love it. It was
Oh,
gooey and just gross.
What a
I loved
spot
it.
to get stabbed by a
Right
friggin'
in the
pencil.
heel,
Ugh.
the tendon. right.
Anytime they go after the heel, it was just always
Oh
like,
my
fuck,
God, yeah.
man.
Yeah, like Achilles tendon, a little
Yeah.
that little fleshy bit in
Ugh,
between
I wouldn't
like
think
the
about it.
Achilles
Oh,
tendon
God.
and the ankle bones.
Oh yeah.
It's already a pretty tender area. It's
Right.
like a pencil through there.
Oh, Lord. Yeah.
And then jiggling it around.
I know the way she was wrenching it. And, oh, that was just brutal to watch.
She tosses Bruce into a shelf, which
Yeah.
is one of a
One
couple of the shelves.
one of
He
several
That's like
he
his
takes out
kryptonite.
all the shelves. Yeah,
That is-
shelves.
Shelves are his
Shelves.
kryptonite. Doors
He
are the
gets
Deadite
stuck in
kryptonite.
one later, which is
Got
quite
stuck in a
sight.
shelf.
Yeah,
That's
stuck
right.
in a
Yep.
shelf.
Yep.
So,
Struggling.
so they lock her in a basement,
Right. Yep. Bruce's sister.
and then what's the? I cannot remember what that one girl's
So
name is.
Achilles heel though, right? She
Achilles.
When
No,
he
that's
has-
Linda. What's the one
Shelley.
girl's name?
Oh,
Shelley.
Shelley.
Yeah, Shelley wanders off by herself into. She goes to the other room, right? She goes off to the other room. Ash
That's
and Scotty are like talking about, what's going on, man? Like, what do we do?
right.
And then she gets taken.
Yeah.
Something bursts through the window and takes
That's right.
Shelley.
She even
Yeah,
kind of
that's
sees
right.
it coming.
And Scotty could not care
Carol
less.
doesn't give a
He-
fuck.
He comes in. He just kind of like he sees what's going on. He just kind of like, damn.
well,
The most emotion he shows is like, damn, I really thought she was in there.
Yeah, man.
it's like
Yeah,
Lord,
Son of a bitch.
You see like disappointment as he's like looking behind things where he's just like,
Yeah.
well, I thought she was
he like they draw out this moment where he's like going towards the closet and he opens it and like they don't even show us that the closet's
No.
empty. We just see the disappointment on his face.
Yeah. I thought that was kind of it was borderline comical because he's like it's a drawn out scene where he checks the closet, nothing there.
That was
He
it.
goes to the bathroom, it draws out, opens the bathroom, nothing there.
nothing there.
Then he goes to the shower. It draws out. And he
Oh, the
opens up,
shower
nothing
curtain,
there.
though. Yeah.
Yeah,
He
and
just
the whole
tossed it
time
back.
his face, like you would expect when somebody's searching, they're like, "All right, on to the next place." No, he's like, "Yeah, aw, yeah, aw." Like it's very like he really thought she was hiding in there.
But she pops up behind him
Yep.
Out of
She's
nowhere.
behind him the whole time.
and
claws him.
Yep.
calls him up. They
Already
scuffle
Jedi-did.
out into the living room
Right.
where Ash just kind of like sits and watches for a second.
He
He like
is.
just sits on the couch.
He
and, like,
is watching in stunned horror as the hero of our story,
Yeah.
we think.
And then at a
wrestles
certain
with this.
point, he decides, well, I better step in here. Once Scotty starts getting like the upper hand, he's like,
Yep.
all right, I
He
guess I
stands
get
up.
it. I guess
All right.
Yeah, it's after he like gets her down on the ground and she's on fire. He's like, "All right, now that bitch is burning.
Yeah.
Get up off his
Right.
sofa."
Yeah, let me
Got
help
her
you out
face
here,
burning
Scott.
in the fire.
But she bursts up and
Oh.
she
Uh,
hits Bruce with kryptonite, throws him into a super shelf.
Yep. A super shelf. Gets him
Which-
caught.
He gets stuck in the shelf.
Well, he rolled a
Nat one on that one.
on
Yeah.
that.
Yep.
Scotty's getting his ass kicked, and Ash can't help him because he's stuck in
And
the
his
shelf.
arm
He's
is his
like
arm is-
holding the
arm
shelf.
is-
He's like
Oh.
holding himself on himself.
Hold me back, bro.
Yeah.
Hold me
He's
back.
like,
Hey, now, to be fair, I have seen people like fuck themselves up trying to climb over stuff where you're like, "Are you doing that to yourself?" I'm like, nope, just suck.
I've seen that too.
Just like, yeah, it's just like luck totally leaves them. They just, I can't anymore.
And this is where, if you're watching this the first time, you have no idea who Bruce Campbell is, you don't know who Ash is. If you're watching this for the first time, Scotty is the hero.
Oh,
Right.
100%.
Oh, yeah.
Because
He's
he-
armed with an axe at
Axe.
this point.
He just fucks up, Deadite Shelley. He
Catches her on fire. He stabs her in the back.
Right.
he uses the dagger, stabs her in the back. She chews her own hand off. He cuts her hand. She chews her own hand off for some
Yeah.
reason.
Yep. Yeah. For some reason,
Um,
she does that, and then like he takes some.
Well,
he takes a
he,
beating, too.
He cuts her wrist with his knife. He has his
Ah.
hunting knife behind his
Oh,
back.
that's right. Yeah.
So her hand won't let go of the.
I see. That's
She-
right.
She chews that off. Then he throws her down and chops her the fuck up in
Right,
18
just-
pieces.
And Bruce just stands by the window and watches.
Yeah,
this
you get all the,
man
it just
hack
keeps
her
cutting back to
pieces.
these reaction shots of Ash just like in a shock and horror and awe. And,
And you can only imagine that Sam's standing behind the camera and be like, "Yeah, you're scared.
yeah,
You're disgusted.
yeah.
You're horrified."
Again.
And they take her and they're like, well,
Yep. These twitching pieces of her body.
let's bury her. Yeah.
You gotta
They're all
bury her.
still alive. Throw in her bag. They carry her out.
Yep.
They
Bury
dig
her
a
in the
hole.
woods.
out in
And
the
I'm
woods.
sorry, but like at that point, that bitch is getting cremated and like on the double.
I would, yeah.
Seriously.
I
Oh
would
yeah.
definitely
If,
piece that
if
to
you
the fire.
can't seem to put down the animated corpse of a friend, folks, you should probably burn it at that point, especially after
I would
if dismemberment doesn't work.
Corpse.
Yes,
being,
corpse.
Corpse
Corpse
being
being
the
the-
key word in that
Yes.
advice.
Thank you, Ben. Yes,
Burn
yes.
it. But was it Night of the Living Dead when they burn the zombie and
Return of the Living Dead. Yeah.
Yeah.
They burn the zombies
and
and
it creates
spreads
like the acid
infection,
rain
yeah.
and
Spreads the virus. Return of the Living Dead.
No.
I didn't
Well,
think of that,
okay. I
did you?
guess be
Yeah.
careful with burn. I'm not an undead expert.
Burn it.
Burn
it.
Burn
That's
it.
I would still
Burn it.
Yeah, because they go out, they dig a big hole for her and make a cross, and they set her in the
Yeah,
ground.
they like write
Yeah.
proper. They do everything but give her like a send off with a little speech.
All right.
Yep. Yeah.
They go back inside. Scott's like, I'm getting out of here. There's I know a way around the bridge. And he just fucks off. Doesn't take anything
Oh,
with
yeah.
him. He doesn't take an axe. He doesn't take anything. He just
Anything. And Ash is like, we can't leave so and so.
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
And, he's like,
He's
nope.
like,
screw him.
bye.
Yeah.
Linda's in there.
Linda
She
can't walk. She can barely stand up. That's your girlfriend, man. It's not my fucking
That-
problem.
he
And
may not be our
fucks
hero.
off. Yeah, that's where you start thinking, like, wait a second.
Yeah.
I've been swerved.
Just leaves Ash there all by himself
Yeah,
with
leaves.
these injured people.
And then he leaves. Ash goes in to help Linda.
Yeah.
He's like comforting her. He pulls up the blanket, and we get a really neat little effect, I thought.
Oh,
The
The pencil wound, all of a sudden, like it
getting
just,
infected.
yeah, this black
Yeah.
shit
just
it
creeps
veins
up her
out. Like
ankles, and
she has a symbiote
immediately-
on her.
That was good 80s effect.
That
It was very
yeah.
good. I love that. I thought that was very well done.
She just
and very
instantly-
unexpected.
Yeah.
It was. Yeah, she's just
And
suddenly
she's
dead-eyed.
dead-eyed. Yeah, she's
Deadite
dead-eyed.
Linda is my favorite.
Yeah, Deadite Linda is pretty badass.
She's just kind of like sitting there on the floor, like cross-legged.
Creepy,
Just
singing shit.
Entertained, watching. Ew, I couldn't believe he would leave her alone even for a moment.
Yeah,
No.
but can you imagine what the other? Because you know that the Deadite that possessed Linda is like the lazy one of the group.
You're
Like,
right.
Linda, would you grab him, Linda? Quit laughing. The fuck are you doing, Linda?
And
God damn it!
So lazy.
all this happens in like the span of like 3 or 4 minutes.
Yeah.
And then Ash backs away. Then Scotty just shows up. And he is like, "Fuck
yeah,
up!" Like he didn't make it off the porch. He like up the porch. And those trees just
She's right.
fucked
The
him
trees
up.
are alive.
Those trees were
those
waiting
trees
for
are
him.
badasses.
Yep, they got him right away.
I actually
did.
think he got his ass kicked by the swing.
That swing just beats the shit out of him, pumels the fuck out of him.
out there. Oh my gosh! Yep. Nope. He didn't make poor guy didn't make it
Yeah.
very far. I
And
think it
like-
was because he abandoned his virtue, his hero qualities.
Yep.
He was like, nope, it's your girlfriend, not mine. Screw it. And then the evil got him.
So now we have
Yep.
Ash has dying Scotty.
Dying
Cheryl's
Scotty.
in the basement, still like
Still
banging
chained in the
around,
basement. Yep.
conning him. And now you've got Linda.
Linda
in the
just sitting there
corner,
watching the whole
Just
goddamn
giggling
thing.
at him
giggling and
while
shit.
he's trying to
Scotty's
teach Scotty.
telling him like, "There's a trail that gets you out of here," and all this, and he's like all fucked up.
Yeah.
And then we get to see where the Deadites really start fucking with Ash
Oh yeah.
because Linda turns into like Linda again. Like she turns to Linda again. Cheryl turns into Cheryl again. They're not
Yeah.
Deadites. Everything starts looking
They're
up
like,
on
hey, Ash, everything's fine. No.
And
see,
Ash is like,
back to normal.
fantastic.
Yeah, he buys into it like immediately.
It's
He's like,
margarita time.
he's like, oh hell,
Yeah.
it's-
No, yeah, everything's fine.
wow. It's
Maybe
eight-
just a time thing.
yeah, it's 8:47. 8:47. It's 8:47. That was always had to wait. 8:47 rolled around and everything's all right.
The color's back in your cheeks. I can
Yeah.
see your pupils again. This all makes perfect sense, guys. It's just a
It doesn't last for
It was
long.
allergies.
Yeah, it's allergies. It doesn't
Just a-
last for long.
You know, slight infection.
yeah.
Just a couple hours.
Right.
Pencils will do that. Lead poisoning. They
Oh
They-
yeah, they mess with him for a second.
they mess for a second, then like it all goes to shit.
Just right back to
He
dead
ends
eating.
up decapitating Linda
Oh right, yep.
and no, he doesn't decapitate her yet.
At
Does
least
he?
not right away.
Yeah,
I
what's he
think
do
that
to her?
was-
Like
He just
decapitates
kind of
her.
drags her outside.
He drags her
Oh,
outside.
yeah,
That's
he
right.
drags her
Yeah,
out.
yeah. I think she
We
gets
go into
stabbed or
the,
impaled.
They're like,
Drags
Linda,
her
I've had
outside.
enough of your shit. Go outside.
We go to the shed where there's a.
She just lets him. That's right. It was before she got impaled. She just is laughing while he's
yeah.
dragging her out.
We go to the shed where there's a medieval torture table with chains, and
Uh-huh.
he like binds her to it. We get to see a chainsaw, which if you only seen this movie, it means nothing to you because it doesn't come into play at all.
That's right. Yeah,
It's like a
doesn't
brand new
get used.
chainsaw.
But I was reading that I guess if you look like at the scenes where the chainsaw's over her and she's laying on the table like unconscious, if you look at her neck, you can actually see her pulse is just like boop, 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 boop.
Oh.
She's actually freaking the fuck out.
This
Oh,
chainsaw's
wow.
over and over me. I'd be anxious too if somebody was standing over me with a chainsaw.
Yeah, and I was trying to look and I couldn't tell whether because on that shot
Hard to
where
see.
where the chainsaw's clearly over, I couldn't tell if they had the chain on it or not.
Right.
Like a lot of times, you take the blade off of it, so it's perfectly safe. But also,
I would fucking hope not.
Yeah,
yeah, but sometimes
Of course, who was that was telling us about they were on a shoot and they were talking about how they were going to shoot a gun beside their head, like a blank gun beside their head?
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's right.
Somebody we were working with was telling us about that.
Somebody
Like,
was.
you are out of your
That's
fucking
nuts.
mind.
Yeah, that's a good way to lose an eardrum.
Right.
No,
I
thank
don't-
you.
And so
sir.
that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
I was trying to see if the chain was on.
You
I
never
couldn't
know.
quite
It could have
tell.
been like
Couldn't
one
tell.
of them low budget things
Yeah.
where they're just like, we don't have time. Just don't,
In which case,
don't lower it past this point.
and for God's sakes, don't trip.
Right.
Do you trust us?
Do you trust us?
So they,
Oh,
No.
that's when he sees
he,
the
yeah,
he does
absolutely
nothing.
not.
Yeah. He does nothing. Like with the chainsaw, he like,
No, he
immediately
sees the
unchains
necklace. He sees the
oh, he
necklace.
sees the necklace and
And
he
he's
thinks,
like,
Yeah.
I can't do
I
this.
can't do
So
this.
He takes her outside again.
takes her out,
Yep.
buries her. gives her
Yeah,
the
that's right. In a
cross,
very shallow grave.
and then she pops up immediately.
Yep, pretty much immediately.
And like fucks his leg up. He just kind of
Oh.
stands there and lets her
Right.
like he like stands
Just
there.
sits
It's like a
there,
shot of him
tearing
just getting
into
his
it.
leg ripped to shreds. He just kind of like
I mean, like it
yeah,
looked like she was digging fingers into muscle,
flesh off
and
bone.
tendon,
Ah.
and stuff like that. Yeah,
Just
And
like
he
that extra
finally-
step.
yeah.
Yeah, for real, like fucking move, guy.
Come on, man. Run
And
away.
then this is where he decapitates her, right?
Yep,
she
with the
pops
shovel.
out,
He
yeah.
gets a hold of the shovel, swings it.
Decapitates the bitch, and she like stays on him, douses him in blood.
Oh yeah, just pumping out of her neck, all over his face. This is where he starts realizing like something about this is fucked up.
Anyway,
Yeah.
She's still laughing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, her head's still laughing.
Oh yeah, the
you
laugh.
can-
Yep.
she's got lungs, I guess.
He starts losing it there. This is kind of where he starts seeming to finally start getting unhinged a little,
right,
a little unthreaded.
He dispatches her. He goes in the cabin, and we see that the cellar door is now open.
Yep, the sister has kicked the hinges off of the cellar.
And she's outside, right?
Yeah. Well, he doesn't know where she is.
Yeah, he doesn't know where she is.
Yeah, and he's got to get the shotgun shells now.
Yeah, which I thought would have been a great, scene to like maybe add some horror set piece, something like that. But he just goes down. He trips and falls. I think he trips.
Oh yeah,
on
trips
a can,
on his way down
can
the
on the
steps.
thing there. It's just showing us that Ash is kind of a doofus.
Yes,
he like trips on the stairs, but yeah, he makes it down. He gets the shotgun shells.
Yep. Kind of creepy, drawn out, but
creepy, drawn out, which is a lot of this movie.
Oh, yeah.
Creepy, drawn out.
Yeah.
Payoff is kind of like 50-50 whether or not it's going to actually pay off, but
right.
He makes it back upstairs. Got shotgun shells, and then that's where he gets attacked by her, doesn't he?
He does. He gets attacked.
No,
and
he gets attacked first.
Yeah, because he's like, front door, and then for some reason the front door is like hard to close now.
Oh, that's right.
I didn't get
It's
that.
like 3 sizes too big. He's got to wedge it in there.
Because they've been like slamming it the whole time.
All the blood on the floorboard just swelled up the wood.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is.
And he's the back door.
Yeah, he runs the back door. I like that. I like that shot of him running back. I like those shots.
Shot was nice.
Yeah, which is they revisit that at the end.
Yeah, and then that's where he says, "Oh, I need more shells. Where's more shells?" And he goes downstairs. He goes downstairs.
We also noticed that Scotty's missing at that point.
Yeah, because Scotty has died over this point. Which,
yeah, which is where he was trying to get him to drink water. And
oh my god.
Yeah, he was just letting up water. People are like plants. You just keep them watered, they're fine. he's just giving him. Yeah, he just probably on his 6th glass of water he's got for him, just
pouring it into his mouth while he's leaning.
It'll be all right, Scott.
It's like in the war movie where the dude's carrying the half of dude on his back. It's like, we're gonna make it. You're gonna see your mama. Like, I don't think they are, pal.
And I'm sitting here watching this, like, tilt his head to the side. He's gonna drown if he is still alive, man. He is not responding to you. But now Scotty's gone. We don't know where Scotty is.
And then this is where Scotty reanimates, right?
Yep.
We have Deadite Scott.
Just all starts. We've got those crazy shots going on.
Oh yeah,
when that was right. Yeah, when he comes out of the basement, is when it's all Dutch dangled.
Everything's topsy turvy.
It's so
crazy.
Turns
us on our head with those shots.
Quite literally.
Yeah.
Quite literally.
Yes.
Like even that first shot of him coming out of the basement, it's really disorienting because it's like an overhead Dutch angle. It's like really weird placement for the camera, but it works so well. And that whole sequence is like the most like unconventional shots.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
very
they
trippy.
all work so well.
Yeah, definitely tells us, like if you didn't
Shit's
get it
fucked up.
before,
Yeah,
something's really wonky.
I like the shot when they're like tracking him from above, and as the camera or the rafters pass in front of the camera, it makes that like odd noise.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Awesome.
Yeah. No,
there's so much cool stuff.
That's like the Dutch angle that like you rarely see that work.
Yeah,
it works there.
It definitely does.
Like I said, Sam Raimi, like if you watch enough Sam Raimi, you really get an idea. He has a very unique visual style, and it's on display here. Definitely. Like you can tell, like this is not something that you would like. I'm sure people probably tore this apart when it came out. Like people who like knew film, I'm sure definitely tore this thing apart. Like these fucked up shots he's got. Like why are you shooting like it? But it all works so well in this movie because you're disoriented.
Right.
You're Ash because he's like just all his friends are dead. He's fucked up in the head right now.
Everything about his world is different, and that is definitely coming across well in the way that we are now seeing this movie framed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Scotty is a deadite.
Scotty's a deadite. He comes out, starts attacking. I think we've still got who else who comes back here? Is it that's when his sister comes back?
Yeah, Cheryl.
Cheryl has busted out of the
basement, and she's attacking.
Yeah, because she busted out while he was debating chainsaw.
Right.
So
that's right.
Because he killed Linda, right?
With the beheading.
Did he kill her?
Yeah, I think. Well, how many deadites
Yeah,
came
because
in at the end?
he was going to chainsaw her up, and then he decided to bury
Buried
her.
her.
Right.
She came back.
She came back. He
Whacks
headed
her head
her
off with
with
the
a shovel.
shovel.
Goes inside, and that's when he discovers
Yeah.
All
everything
that.
else.
So this finale is it's weird.
It's something.
It's something.
Right.
There's some weird stuff going on in this that
A lot of this is just, these dead. I didn't realize this either, that it was so much taunting by the deadites. Like
Right.
there's so like he could have been.
it gets crazy when we watch
They
Evil
could've-
Dead 2. It's Evil Dead 2. It's very, very crazy.
They dial it up to an 11.
They
Did they
don't
really?
Oh,
Espe-
yeah.
especially this last scene when they redo it in the sequel and Evil Dead 2. It's insane. But in this, I mean, you got Scotty, you got Cheryl, you got Linda, and it's really the thing that got me is like the scene where he finally puts it all together. He's like, he sees the book on fire, like, or the book's near the fire,
Right. It's near the fireplace.
And this is what
It
I
is
didn't get.
slightly on fire.
It's slightly on fire, and he puts it together. He's like, okay, if I get rid of the book, I might be able to end this. And of course, he uses his grappling hook necklace.
Ah, yes, the necklace.
I thought such a weird thing to
I
use.
know
in
he's
this
got a
movie.
deadite holding onto his ankle, keeping
Yeah.
him just far enough away from it.
Like,
He's got
Scotty's
this
like,
necklace
Scotty's
trying to.
chewing on his leg, and Cheryl is just like beating him in the back
Oh,
with a
yeah.
fire poker, and it just goes, and like he's not selling any of it. He's just still like just kind of like trying to get to the book.
Ah, I
Just-
can only just fling this necklace a little bit better.
Yeah, damn it, this magnifying glass isn't working
Oh.
properly. And finally but like the book catches on fire,
Just a little bit.
but
yeah.
he's still trying to pull it toward him. So I thought,
Right.
man, if you just left it there and let it
But
burn.
my question is, what? So he gets the fucking thing to hook onto the book.
How?
How?
It doesn't really show you that, does it?
What?
'Cause
No!
it shows it missing, and then you just finally see it get pulled
See him
in the
pulling
frame.
it
Yeah,
towards him.
that's what
Yeah.
I'm
And
like.
this
How
is where
in the-
you get an idea of how shitty that prop is, because it is very shitty.
Get
looking.
too good of a look at the book. Huh?
Yeah, it's like 6 pages and like a really shitty like latex mask wrapped around some paper. Is what it looks like.
Yeah.
It does
But-
not look good. Like especially when you see the Necronomicon and the later installments of the franchise, it looks so much better. This it looked just like a latex mask they wrapped around a little binding of paper.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely.
it was really bad.
So he pulls it away from the fireplace.
Yep.
So he can throw it into the
into
fireplace.
the fireplace.
And he tosses it in the fireplace, and then we get some really cool like stop animation,
stop
like
motion.
claymation looking stuff of like
these deadites kind of dissolving.
dissolving, just some weird stuff for the
Like,
sake of being
there's
weird.
Pus
Like
flying. There's bugs crawling.
Yeah.
gardener
Start
snake.
molding. I think the book screams at one
The
point.
book
It's got a
scream, it
face
sticks
and
its
it
tongue
screams.
out.
Yeah,
Sticks
the
its
tongue's flying.
Yeah.
There's demon hands that are reaching out of
Yeah,
the
yeah, that was-
dissolved-
I did not
just
get that.
emerging
Yeah,
from all these
the
people.
demon hands-
Oh, that
The
was
giant
weird.
demon hands like burst out of the bodies just to like I don't know,
Yeah.
just for the sake of
And the whole
some-
time we just keep
cool-ass
cutting back
gore.
to this close up of Ash, just like looking around with this look on his face. Of,
Still laying face down on
Yeah.
the floor.
hasn't attempted to get up at all, and he's
No,
just
covered
Just
in-
kinda watching,
covered
it's
in
like,
viscera.
I don't. What do I? And it just goes on for a while until there's just like this moldy, residue-y sort of stuff.
these moldy carcasses.
Yeah.
And then he gets up and you can see like his face. He's like,
In
"You
shock.
made it."
Yeah,
He
did it.
steps outside.
The sun's coming
The
up.
sun's coming up. Dawn is here. I've made it. Then we get a sudden POV shot.
Ah,
it just
yes, the
burnt
evil's
it.
point of view.
Pops up in the woods. It bursts through the house. We see it come
Sweeps all
through
the way
back
through the
door,
cabin
through
again.
the
front
back
door.
through the back to the front.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Ash turns around, screams, cut the black.
Cut to black.
That's Evil Dead, 1981.
Oof. What?
Written, directed by Sam Raimi. That's what you get.
What a movie that was.
Wow.
That was a ride. That's for sure. Like I said, I loved being able to kind of see like the root of some tropes, I think, that became popular, and
You
I
can
imagine
see the
it's a
origin
big
here,
part of it is
yeah.
probably due to this movie.
You guys don't think the remake did it better?
Well, I haven't seen the remake.
I
yet, so
don't hate the
can't say.
remake.
Yeah, actually, I was thoroughly pleased with the remake myself.
And something I think the remake does very well too is the when we watch this, if you didn't know who Bruce Campbell was, you want to know who the
Right.
Soul Survivor was. I think the remake does a good job of doing that as well, because there's no Ash character in the remake, and they set up like several characters to like make you think this is going to be the Ash character. This is going to be the Survivor. It does that very well. That's a fun
Keep that. We don't know who the hero is going to be.
Although, to be fair, there's one character in the remake. I don't know if they just liked using him because of his reaction.
Oh
they beat the shit out of this dude.
That poor guy.
I'm not going to say who it is,
seen it in forever.
but there is just one character that, like, if everybody takes their turn kind of being the possible hero, like, they just beat the fuck out of this guy for no reason.
Oh, God.
Every gore they throw on him.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It wasn't shelves?
Well, it's not even like, and it's not just like gore that gets thrown at him. The dude gets beat to hell.
Ooh.
They really were sadistic to that guy.
They beat him up more than Ash.
By anybody in that movie, he just gets shit on.
I can't wait to watch that one. We're watching that one at some point.
It'll be a cameo episode because Ash is in it at the very last second.
He's like a post credit scene.
It's like the very last before the film cuts. He's like groovy.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Well, there you have it, folks. There's our take on The Evil Dead. What we're going to be doing is we're going to talk about the quality of Bruce Campbell in this movie. We are going to rate it groovy or not groovy.
But first, let's talk about Patreon.
Do you like our weekly content here on Cult of Campbell? Then visit our Patreon at CultTalkNet. For only $5 a month, you can join our Groovy tier, which includes early access to all Cult Talk Net episodes, full-length audio watch-alongs, and access to our private Facebook group.
I'm sorry, sir. No one will be seated after the doors are closed. It helps maintain the illusion.
Or for only $10 a month, you can join our certified Groovy tier, which includes all the perks of the Groovy tier, plus a monthly bonus episode and early access to our early recorded beta episodes.
For the month of May, our bonus episode for you is the 1978's Within the Woods, a short film starring Bruce Campbell and the progenitor of the Evil Dead.
And the only place to find out whether that's groovy or not groovy is Patreon at CultTalkNet and help support the podcast. Now, back to the show.
Yo, she-bitch. Let's go.
It is time to talk about the quality of Campbell. Ursa, what do you think? Groovy or not groovy?
Groovy. You can definitely tell it's like early in his career. The acting isn't as strong as,
Oh man, yeah. I forget what it is. There's one line where we all looked at each other and we're like, oof. It gets better. There was a phrase he says there where it's rough.
But I mean, definitely it's 100% classic, 100% classic Bruce.
Classic.
I mean, it's a must see.
It's a must see. What do you think, Tyler?
I mean, it's got to be groovy. I mean, I wouldn't say it's groovy in the sense that I like Bruce in this. It doesn't compare to where this character eventually goes.
Wow.
Like this, the Ash character becomes so much more than what we see here. Like I almost feel like this version of Ash does die in this movie because it can't compare to what Ash eventually becomes. But it is pretty solid. I can't say it's not groovy because it is groovy, but it's almost like this is a pilot version of what we eventually get.
It's a humble beginning.
It is. It's a very humble beginning. Very humble beginning because this character, when we get into the Evil Dead franchise, becomes so much more larger than life. It becomes a larger than life character. He becomes like a horror movie action hero. Whereas in this, he's kind of this dopey, wimpy guy who, like, in the last few, you get some scenes, some little inklings that there's something there. But for the most part, he's just kind of there in this movie. I mean, like I said, I'm not going to give it a not groovy, but it's not the grooviest. But it's all right. I mean, it's groovy. It's fair. But it's not the grooviest, but I still did not hate it. I thought he did a good job of portraying what he was given. So,
yeah. Ben, what say you?
I'm gonna have to give this a not groovy.
Oh,
Yeah. Listen. I like this movie. I do. And if it wasn't based, and if our criteria wasn't based solely on Bruce Campbell, I would give it a much higher score. The cinematography is excellent. What they were able to do with a small budget is amazing. However, everything Bruce Campbell in this film is subpar. He's barely in it. He stands around looking like a moron when he is in it. His deliveries of lines are not great. Like,
Ben, since you did it, I don't want to be the one to give it a not groovy.
yeah.
I don't feel as bad about saying
No.
not groovy. I'm gonna give it a not groovy.
Listen, this is a fantastic film. It's just not.
It is a great film.
It's just not Bruce's.
It's not. It is. It's not a Bruce. It's not. You don't get a like. It's probably harder knowing what becomes later.
Yes, I would definitely have to say that.
Like, imagine if you watched these movies in reverse. If you watched if you started out in Ash vs. Evil Dead, or you watched Army of Darkness, you watched Evil Dead 2. If you watched any of those first, and then you're like, "Oh, let me check out Evil Dead," you'd be sorely disappointed because, and especially when you see him go into the barn and you see the saw, you're like, "Oh, it's about to happen." It's like he just kind of
it's hard to take this film as what it really needs to be, and that's what came before there was any plans.
Yeah, I imagine if this movie was just Evil Dead, it came out as a moderate success,
but
done.
That being said,
then you never heard of Bruce Campbell again?
Never heard Bruce Campbell again.
Because
look at that poster right there. That is not in the fucking movie.
That is not
holding aloft the chainsaw with that grit and determination on his face. You mean
with that girl behind him
hiding and screaming, and he
So, but I still maintain, let's just say that there was no other films.
Yeah,
and that this was the only one.
Mm.
Still rating it on our criteria, I would still say this is not good.
I guess it's being the first episode, it's a good time for us to explain. When we do these movies, we're not reviewing the film. We're talking about the film. But the end all be all is the quality of Campbell in this film groovy or not?
Yeah, is the actor himself what he brings
I did not
to
want to balls up and be the one to say it, but Ben did it, so I will follow.
Yeah.
It's not groovy. It's not the grooviest Bruce I've ever seen.
No.
It's not.
I mean,
I pussyfooted around it and said it wasn't groovy.
You said it's not the grooviest.
It's not groovy.
Every explanation that you could give is 100% valid. He's brand new to the acting.
Yeah. They probably didn't have a huge grasp of it.
Yeah.
It's so crazy to see the evolution of character between Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2 because they're night and day.
Yes.
Evil Dead 2.
Every excuse you could throw in front of this is absolutely valid.
Right.
But that being said, it still doesn't negate it.
Yeah.
Well, not groovy
Eric,
from me.
I respect your decision.
So Eric, what do you think? Is it groovy or not groovy?
So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna start off by saying I'm gonna call this one a groovy.
Okay. We're at deadlock here. Okay.
I understand.
Ian exited the recording.
Ian had to step out. So he can't break our tie.
We can't break the tie.
So perhaps we'll get his opinion on the next one.
Oh yeah, we'll have to follow up with him. So I'm going to say that it's groovy because kind of as especially growing up, I wasn't as into Bruce Campbell as, other people were and what I would hear about it. And I'd hear about it. And watching this movie now and so early in his career as it was, I can kind of see the seeds of the things that people talk about of him in there. And, I wonder if he kind of embraced his sort of campy acting style because it served him so well in this movie when it maybe wasn't so intentional.
Is that a really polite way of saying that he can't do better, so he works with what he's got?
Oh, no.
I'm not saying that's true. I was just asking if that's what you were saying.
That is not what I'm saying. Thank you for
clear that up, Eric.
allowing me the opportunity to clarify.
Yeah.
But he's an actor who's known for his camp and for going for very over-the-top portrayals and stuff. Boy, I digging my way out of the hole well enough here.
I think you're doing all right.
Yeah, you're fine. Just want to head off a few dickheads in the comment section later.
There we go. Well done. But that eyebrow was there. You get a good look at the chin. Once he started getting to really unleash in that later half of the movie, once things start getting really unhinged, you can see he has fun with a lot of this.
To me, it happens. It's too little, too late.
It is okay, yeah, and I can agree.
Because I see that I see where they were going in that, but it's like the last 10 minutes of the movie. Less than 10 minutes. Or once he comes out of the basement, I see where they're trying to take things. It just never gets into the gear of where we see things later.
Yeah, he could have definitely snapped a little earlier in the film, and I think it would have been justified by the plot. But I'm going to stick by my groovy. I'm going to stick by that. And we looks like we have a tie on our very first episode.
Stay tuned for the tiebreaker.
For the tiebreaker.
We'll have to get Ian's opinion on this in the next episode.
Yeah.
See if we can snap this tie.
And there you have it, folks. I hope that you've enjoyed our very first show of the Cult of Campbell. We are going to be digging into so much more Bruce Campbell.
We're going to be driving a chainsaw right to that filmography.
Jesus.
Just blowing our way
But,
down.
yeah, you can expect everything from TV cameos to
Movies, horror movies.
Even the shitty ones.
Video games.
Video games. We'll get to those eventually.
comprehensive lists.
Yes, this will be, at some point, the go-to spot for anything Bruce Campbell.
Absolutely. I'm gonna learn so much through this series.
That's the great thing. You get a lot of different perspectives here. So.
Right. So it's been absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much for coming to listen. I've been Eric.
I'm Ty.
I'm Ursa.
I'm Ben.
And if you want to,
There was an Ian.
Yeah, there was an Ian. And let us know what you guys think of Evil Dead. What you think of Bruce Campbell in Evil Dead. 1981's Evil Dead. Is it groovy? Is it not groovy? What is the quality of Campbell?
Please,
and we want to hear it in the comments, or you can go to our Twitter, Instagram, at CultTalkNet, where you can leave all your opinions and see some extra content on there.
Take your time and tell us why me and Ty are wrong.
Yes.
About,
yes.
Why this is so groovy.
Yes. I lay myself at the mercy
we're so full of shit.
all the Campbellites, because I will hold on to my guns that this is not groovy. I will hold on that controversial opinion.
Not groovy.
What a way to
change my
end-
mind.
What a way to end the first episode of
in
Cult of Campbell.
controversy.
A controversial ending to Cult of Campbell. We have a tie, and we're saying that one of the most iconic horror films of all time, one of the most iconic films in Bruce Campbell's filmography, is not groovy. It's nuts, but
I cannot wait to hear the feedback here on this one.
I know it's going to be absolutely awful. That's okay.
So I think that does it, though. I think we've had a good time.
Absolutely. Had a wonderful
It's
time.
been fun.
Looking forward to doing so many more, guys. Please, again, join us next time. Stay groovy.
Stay groovy.
Never fuck with the king. That's it? That's the best you got?
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.